Yeah, we'll have the surgery. Ram, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So I have the Varion overlay, but unfortunately, because of the mismatch between the Zeiss 700 microscope and the Varion, it may not be directly visible. Right now, we are just showing the incision markings that I am seeing on the monitor of the Varion. So basically, I'm going to be doing a 1 millimeter incision, 2 side ports. I keep my side port incision 70 degrees apart, and I always fill in a little bit of intracameral xylocaine that makes the eyeball a little tense, also gives good anesthesia, always with my topical cases. And this is a 2.4 millimeter incision I'm going to be making. All along I have been doing 2.2, but recently about 3 months back I shifted over to this, and I find that this doesn't have much of an astigmatic impact. Can you have the microscope view, please? Okay, so I just filled in some viscoelastic. The capsular excess is already pre-made. I use the down up technique to just lift up the rhexis. And now I'm going to do a little bit of hydro. There's already some pneumodissection that has occurred, but that's not quite adequate. So excessive fluid injection should be avoided. And as you can see, 2 areas where I do gentle hydrodissection. And maybe it's not necessary, but I'm in the habit of always rotating my nucleus, making sure all corticocapsular adhesions are broken up and it's quite ready for being chopped. As you can see, the nucleus has already been pre-chopped. It's a grade 3 cataract, essentially a posterior subcapsular cataract. So I don't think I would be needing much energy. Yesterday we had some discussion about this. I hope the burst mode parameters are seen over here. This is exactly what I use for my chopping, in the sense there is no torsional phaco, zero torsional phaco. We keep longitudinal phaco at 40%, and then the on time is 150. And as I go down on my foot position number 3, from 2500 milliseconds, it goes down to 500 milliseconds. The IP is also off, because at this stage, what I want is absolutely no repulsion, but good hold. And of course, in a run-of-the-mill cataract, these may not be important, but when you're dealing with a hard cataract, these parameters do make a lot of difference. As you can see, my intraocular pressure is 30, which translates to a bottle height of just 41 centimeters. Can I have some Bisco? So yeah, I had a little difficulty. I'm just removing all the epinucleus, the cortex, whatever is there. Going to use very little power. Basically, in these softer cataracts, it's not even necessary to go into foot position number 3, especially when it's pre-chopped like this. And otherwise, you could have cheese wiring and the tip going right inside. So as you can see, I have already chopped into 2 pieces, and that's now I have 4 distinct quadrants. Now I go on to removal of the fragments, and as you can see here, now I use no longitudinal power. It's only torsional power at 60%. That also, it's not on panel mode, but it's on linear mode. And again, the intraocular pressure remains at 30. So I think the exquisite advantage this machine offers is the ability to keep the intraocular pressure low right through your surgical process. And in spite of a fairly high vacuum that's being used, you could sense the stability of the anterior chamber that's there. And obviously, since it's pre-chopped, you require even less phaco power in these situations. since I'm using no phaco power and my ports are also directed sideways and nothing impinging on the corneal endothelium, I'm quite okay with doing it even in the anterior chamber. And that's all of the nucleus that has come out. And I'm going to be doing a IA. I always prefer doing a bimanual IA. And subsequently, I'll be implanting a panoptic toric lens. And this lady has a 2.82 diopters of astigmatism. And obviously, IA. And that's something, if you can't dream of putting just a plain implant, plain multifocal implant, and the availability of a trifocal toric is definitely a great advantage in these cases. As was mentioned, the calculation of the intraocular pressure is extremely important, and we use the Barrett toric calculator, and you can, of course, the Alcon toric calculators are also based on that principle, and this gives you a fairly accurate reading. So I'm going to be using a T6 in this situation. It's important that you get all the cortical matter out, get the capsular bag as also polished as well as possible. And I have made a 2.4 millimeter incision. Another important switch we have made is that nowadays the surgically induced astigmatism that we incorporate in the formula is the centroid value, which is just 0.1. Previously I used to put it as 0.47, and I find that with these changes the intraocular lens power calculation is much better. And when you use these high-end lenses, it's extremely important that you get your biometry right. Can I have some saline? You can see a nice round rexus, not that it's not possible manually, but the fact that you have an excellent extractive technology, that is a combination of femtosecond laser with a high-end Centurion, with its balanced tip, with its advanced fluidics, essentially ensures that you get a optimal outcome out of these high-end intraocular lenses also. The lady I am operating is a very senior official in the government, and obviously she would not settle for anything which is less than optimal, and this kind of equipment enables me to offer her that. She knows that I am doing live surgery. I have taken her permission, and that's just a gentle flushing to remove whatever little epithelial cells that are there. Though I am having a view of the Varion, you may not be seeing it because of the, no, not now. Let me just implant the lens. After that, I'll tell you when. So when it comes to final alignment of the lens, I'll ask them to show it on the monitor to show as to how the digital overlay of the Varion helps me to align the lens exactly where it should be. Okay. Can we have the toric? So basically it's supposed to be at 151 degrees. I positioned the lens in such a way that I have to rotate only clockwise. Now the lens is in the bag. I go ahead and remove all the viscoelastic, both from the front of the lens as well as the back of the lens. Whether it's toric monofocal or toric multifocal, it's extremely important that all the viscoelastic is removed completely from the back of the lens, because if you don't do that, there is a greater propensity for these lenses to rotate. Going to go behind the lens, and as you can see, I'm using the linear mode as far as irrigation and aspiration is concerned. so that even when I am going behind the lens, there is a fair amount of safety that is there, and I don't go all the way down on the aspiration, so that there is less chance of capturing the posterior capsule. It's also important that you push this lens down onto the posterior capsule. There is still some fragment over there, that small cortical matter. I'm okay with this now. I'm going to align the lens and then subsequently show you the toric marking that's there on the monitor. This is just gentle rotation of the lens. Can you show the monitor? Are you able to visualize that the overlap of the Varion toric marking with the, it's not the microscope view, but it's the monitor view? Is it visible, Maipal?
Yeah, we can see it very clearly. Only thing looks like a blue movie.
Trust you to say that, Arul.
Why do you trust him?
You can come back to the monitor. You can come back to the microscope view. So I think this combination of technology where you have a trifocal intraocular lens with toric correction. The lady had a 2.82 diopters of astigmatism on the anterior corneal surface, and the ability to take care of that quite completely and at the same time offer good vision for intermediate and near is a great advantage. I just injected some moxifloxacin intracameral. Yeah.
Why did you switch over from 2.2 to 2.4?
Mohan Rajan is here with me. He says, why did you switch out from 2.2 to 2.4? Basically, I did that because as even now you saw, sometimes with the 2.2 incision, I felt that the entering the anterior chamber with the probe, there is some amount of crinking. And again, the infusion again sometimes gets reduced when the incision is too tight. And secondly, what I find is even during intraocular lens injection, sometimes it opens up outside. Now with this, even though I do somewhat of wound assisted implantation, I don't think there's any tearing of the wound. And most importantly, there have been significant studies which have shown that whether it's a 2.4 millimeter wound actually creates a lesser amount of centroid value of surgically induced astigmatism than a 2.2 millimeter wound which has been stretched. So that's the reason that now almost I have switched over to 2.4, and I still enter my centroid value of SIA as 0.1, and I find that it works quite well for me.
And also you didn't
So I
use
think,
the Ozil
Sorry?
IP.
IP is, I switched off the IP completely when I am doing the chopping, because I don't want any repulsion. At the same time, I am not using any Ozil also. It's purely longitudinal. Of course, in this case, there was not much of, basically I was in FACO 2 and I just divided. But when you have a harder cataract also, because Ozil as well as IP repels the segments away, the nucleus fragments away, and I want a good capture. But when it comes to, when it comes to nucleus removal, then I switch over to Ozil, and then I switch off the longitudinal completely, and it's purely Ozil which I use.
Which means that during chopping you use only longitudinal.
That's right.
And when the segments are there, you use the Ozil with IP.
Correct. That's right. Yes, Maipal? Yeah.
I think it was a fantastic surgery, very well executed with utmost ease and precision. And he did show all the nuances for getting good outcomes using both the femto and the trifocal toric. Any other comments? Dr. Keki, you are a fond user of trifocals. How's your experience been? Any mic there or?
On the back. The mic just behind. Hope it's switched on.
Thank you, Ram.
Yeah, okay.
Maipal,
Thank you.
Can I make a
Yeah,
comment?
thank you
Maipal?
very much. Yeah.
Maipal,
Sorry?
can I make
Yeah,
a
yeah.
comment? Now, I've been using this
You-
PanOptics for the past 6 months now, and the
Uh.
patients are very happy. The intermittent
And the
vision is very
doctor?
good. More importantly, the near vision is really fantastic, these patients.
I think the combination of a hydrophobic acrylic platform, good vision at 60 centimeters, 40 centimeters. I think previously I had to mix and match lenses
Yeah.
with the other multifocals, the low-end multifocals with the extended depth. But now we aim at spot-on emmetropia, and most often we get satisfied patients even after unilateral implantation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you fully.
Yeah, so basically, I think this is a very good lens. I have limited experience on PanOptics. I have used more of Zeiss, and I think Dr. Keki has also used more of Zeiss. And Dr. KPS Malik announced himself, so he is the only ophthalmic surgeon I put a trifocal PanOptics in, and he seems to be.
Maipal
pretty-
also admitted it, when you face the most difficult patient, you turn to PanOptics.
No. He got it free of cost. So he
Okay,
told
that was the
Albert
criteria.
people, you give it free of cost to me, I'll get it in my eye. I didn't turn. It was his choice. So
Anyway, I think
because-
the fact that there is a hydrophobic, I think Zeiss is a great platform. I've used their lenses extensively. The two things which have held me back is that the fact that it's on hydrophilic, and all hydrophilic platforms generally tend to opacify, though my colleagues like yourself have been telling me that's not your experience with the trifocal. And secondly, the fact that the intermediate vision is at 80 centimeters. I feel physiologically having it at 60 to 80, which the PanOptics offers, seem to be a bit of an advantage. But I think it's great to have all these choices, and each one of us can pick and choose what suits us.
80
Yeah, I
centimeters is
think that's
almost
why I
the
made
neighbor's house,
Dr.
actually.
Keki. Mohan, one sec. That's why I had Dr. Keki. He's at the mic, so he, I think, is a great user of these Zeiss trifocals.
Yeah.
Dr. Keki.
Well, I really am very fond of trifocals, and I'm so happy when I hear people say that trifocals is the way to go, because I've been trying to say that for years and years, and now I'm happy everybody's shifting to it. Now we are talking about the different lenses. Yes, I've done a good number of Zeiss, and I'm happy with them. I've also started doing some of the PanOptics, and I must say one thing about them: their accuracy is phenomenal. So I think maybe it is just an upgraded system which they have now applied, a better probably. It's like having an old model car and a new model car. Perhaps this one gives a better result. But from whatever the cases which I've done, I haven't done too many. I've done in the range of about 200, 250 plus. The accuracy has been superb. So there's no question about it. I mean, compared to the others, I think these two lenses are miles ahead of anybody else. And
So, are you having a problem of PCO with Zeiss trifocals?
as a regular routine at 9 months or 8 months interval, I open all capsules.
Oh,
Oh,
Irrespective, listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Irrespective, there is a reason why I do that, and I realized it. You can wait a little longer, but the quality of vision is not there, it drops. And the fun of how do you verify that? It is very simple. You ask the patient, how is your vision? Vision is fine. He says, fine. He is reading 6 by 6. He is not cribbing about it. You do the YAG, which is pretty easy at 9 months because it just requires a very low power, and you just open up the central area. And immediately after that, you ask him, how are you feeling now? Now, doctor, the vision is so much better. So it was apparently being affected, and I believe it's the rings with the presence of even a low-grade amount of haze, a low-grade amount of capsular thickening does cause a difference.
and also
So
the
My
as a
pal,
regular routine,
rings are on the
my-
posterior
Yeah.
surface now, sir.
Maipal, I think we all have greatest respect and regard for Dr. Keki, and I literally consider him the Devananda of Indian ophthalmology. But then I would slightly differ
but-
with him on this. But because I
That's
don't
okay,
think
you
we
will
are.
agree.
Huh?
I suggest, boss, you try it. And then
No,
next
no,
time
what
when
I'm
we
saying
come
is
for
we
next
should not
time
send a
you have
message
to tell
across
me
that
you agree with me.
all cases should be yagged at 9 months or so, because I think all of us have tried these lenses, other multifocals also. One of the greatest advantage of any hydrophobic material is the clarity of the posterior capsule for years together. And I think maybe if you have the slightest PCO happening, you have to yag it. But if you have a crystal clear PCO posterior capsule, maybe you need not do that.
Yeah, listen to me.
Guys,
9
visual
months
is high.
and yag it. You'll be a happy man.
Okay,
So why
sir.
9 months, sir.
I have found it works. You know, if you do it too early, the PCO has not thickened adequately to open.
Gestation
My
period.
At
So
9
actually-
months, you just need a single shot.
Actually, you are not the first person telling me this. There's another doctor who would say that he would YAG all cases at 3 months.
That's perhaps a little too early. And 9 months is, I've tried it at 6 months, I've tried it at 9, tried it in a year. But this interesting thing is, you try it tomorrow, you get a patient sitting in front. He says, it's all fine. YAG him. Then he says, he'll tell you at that moment, Kabhi to bahut saaf ho gaya, doctor.
Do you charge him?
For the YAG, naturally, yaar. Naturally.
That's the reason.
I think
I
Maipal
have to
charges
pay
more
for
than
my
the
summer
surgery for
vacation.
Yardley, sir.
Well, Mohan,
Yeah.
you have something to say or shall we move on?
No,
No,
I
no,
have
no.
nothing to say.
You have nothing to say.
That's very rarely, so please move on.
I
So
fully
anyway,
respect,
thank you Ram
Keki
and
Mehta's
thank
comments.
you Mohan and Dr.
Thank you.
Keki and yeah, great.